Joining us now is Brian Jones, Senior Advisor for the McCain campaign. Brian, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You heard General Powell on Meet the Press. He said that Obama would electrify the world if he is elected President of the United States. Are you concerned that this endorsement by General Powell could move a number of moderate Republicans or undecided independents into Obama's column?
Not really. I think endorsements really matter at the beginning part of a campaign, the primary season. People are trying to show early momentum. I don't think it's going to have a huge difference. You know, we're happy to have the support of over 300 generals, 4 secretaries of state. So I think, you know, this late in the game, I'm not sure it has as big an impact as people think it might.
You know, it's interesting to hear you say that. I was struck by what Alec Castellanos said, who I know you know, a Republican media consultant who said today that it's kind of like a cookies and a warm glass of milk for anybody who's worried, you know, that comfort factor for anybody out there who's worried that, you know, I don't think Barack Obama has enough experience, he hasn't been around long enough, that kind of endorsement by General Powell would help those people move over and vote for Barack Obama. But you say, no way?
Well, I think, look, obviously, Secretary of State Powell is someone who's widely respected, but at the same time, I think, it's not as big of a deal as people make it out to be. Again, we're happy to have the support of all these generals across the country, the secretaries of state. Another point that I've heard people making today is this will help with military voters. But again, people discount John McCain's military service. So, again, I'm not sure it has as big of impact as people might think it will.
Brian, let me ask you about what General Powell had to say about McCain's response on the economy. Listen.
She's a very distinguished woman, and she's to be admired. But at the same time, now that we have had a chance to watch her for some 7 weeks, I don't believe she's ready to be President of the United States, which is the job of the Vice President.
That was actually Powell on Sarah Palin, but let me ask you to respond to that, him saying that he does not believe she's ready to be president. Do you not trust General Powell's judgment on that, about who may be ready to be vice president or president?
I don't think it's a matter of trust. It's just a fundamental disagreement. Governor Palin is someone who has been a reformer in the state of Alaska, has taken on the Old Boy Network. She'll work with John McCain to shake up Washington, shake up Wall Street. We think she has the background and tools necessary to be a great vice president and, if need be, president.
And then let me ask you then, let me go ahead and play for everybody that clip on the economy by General Powell.
In the case of Mr. McCain, I found that he was a little unsure as to how to deal with the economic problems that we were having. And almost every day there was a different approach to the problem, and that concerned me. It's got the sensing that he didn't have a complete grasp of the economic problems that we had.
Brian, why did McCain lose the trust of General Powell? Has McCain not spoken with him in several weeks or months? Do you know when the last time they spoke?
I really don't know the last time they spoke, and I can't speak to the specifics of their relationship. Obviously, General Powell said a number of times yesterday how much he respected John McCain, believes he served his country with distinction and honor. So I really can't say on that front. When it comes to the economy, again, this race is about choices. Barack Obama is someone who's talking about raising taxes on working families. He's someone who's talking about government-run health care, which could potentially hurt jobs in this country. There's a distinction between the two candidates and their approaches to the issues, and I think that's really what this race is about. Obviously, the Powell endorsement has made a lot of news, but again, I go back to my original statement, which is I'm not sure how much it really matters, 14 days, 15 days before the election.
And then finally, Brian, I just want to get you on record. We have had the Obama-Biden campaign release some health records about Joe Biden. We have not had any information about Sarah Palin's health records. Will you now try and make those public or give reporters some information in the final 2 weeks of this campaign?
You know, I think Sarah Palin is someone who has been treated remarkably unfair by the media throughout this campaign. Some of the scrutiny on her, the things said about her family. We're not going to release her health records because Dr. Altman at the New York Times thinks we should. We'll release them on our own terms. And remember, I think she's the only candidate in the race who's a marathoner. She's in great shape, and we'll release those records when we're ready to release them.
I guess that's a no. There you have it. Brian Jones on MSNBC says no. There will be no release of Governor Palin's health records. But Brian, thanks so much for joining us as always. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Nora. Thank you.
And coming up, the